You do it. I said for you to do it.
It just so if I say hello, I'm Will Leggetter, and you're Thomas Carruthers, that's not the name of the podcast. It needs to go in the order.
It felt like, I don't know why, but I felt like you were all waiting for me to talk, and I was like,
Katrina.
Tom normally starts, and clearly Will needs to start this time.
I'll bring us in afterwards, but
this is all staying in, so don't try and loop around.
Rename the podcast.
Okay, here we go. Hello, I'm Thomas Carruthers.
And I'm Will Leggetter. And today we are joined by two special guests, Becky and Katrina. Would you like to say hello?
Hello.
hi.
We've had Becky before, but Katrina, would you like? Me and Will know Katrina from our drama days, from university. No.
Nope.
No.
College.
You do it, Will.
Don't know her that well.
What a great start.
It's going
Flawless.
great. Are we doing the film Flawless? With Philip Seymour Hoffman as a drag queen and Robert De Niro as a homophobe who lives downstairs in a stroke? Good film.
If you do that, you have to do Kinky Boots too.
I was thinking we'll do a Pride Month, but we've already skipped, we missed it. So to celebrate Pride, we're doing Woody Allen. The LGBT icon, Woody Allen. Yeah, and before that we're doing Brastoff, another Pete Postlethwaite, LGBT icon. Sorry, Will, continue.
Yes, today we
or
are
rather,
going to talk about...
start. Don't continue. Begin.
Should we just restart this?
No, this is going great.
No,
Go.
no, it's great. It's great. It's wonderful. We're doing About Time.
My name is Tim, and this is the year that would change my life forever. Happy New Year! Happy New Year! I just didn't know it yet.
Tim, my dear son, this is going to sound strange, but there's this family secret that the men in the family can travel in time.
This is such a weird joke.
It's not a joke.
If it's true, which it isn't.
Although it is.
But if it was, which it's not.
Which it is.
How would I actually...
You go into a dark place, clench your fists, think of the moment you're going to, and you'll find yourself there.
It's going to be a complicated year.
It's going to be a complicated life.
A wonderful film. It's definitely in, I think, 3 of our top 10 movies.
For me, it was always going to be all about love. I'm Tim.
I'm Mary.
It's my mother's name.
I remind you of your mother?
Obviously, I should have thought this through more. Could you give me 1 second? I'm Tim.
I'm Mary.
I love your eyes.
Do you?
I love the rest of your face, too. Haven't even looked further down, but I'm sure it's all fantastic. I'm sure it'll be better next time.
Well done. Some people make a real mess of it the first time.
Amateurs. Some days you want to relive forever. Will you marry me?
I think I'll go for yes.
Some days you only want to live once.
I am so uninterested in a life without your father.
Because
it
it's
ranks
great.
5 for you, Will.
Yeah.
It ranks 2 for Becky. Do you have an official ranking, Katrina?
Well, we all know what's number 1. I would say...
Upcoming episode.
I'd say it's definitely in my top 5. Maybe,
Oh, there we go.
What is your number 1?
4?
What is your number 1, Katrina?
My number 1 is Sliding Doors.
Mm.
I think number 2 is Arrival.
What an
Great
incredible
film. Great film. But, of course, today we are doing About Time 2013, directed by and written by Richard Curtis. Hit or miss. Hit or miss is Richard for me.
Are we opening with this? Is this how we're starting?
Shall we? Yeah, shall we talk about Richard?
Let's start with a prologue on Curtis. I'll get up the filmography. So let's start with his writing. Oh no, we'll do his directing because that's lower. Okay, so directing. Directorial debut, Love Actually. Cut. Bad.
Love.
Wonderful movie.
Oh,
Amazing film. One of my favourites.
I believe this is I'm on my own here, aren't I?
You will be for the majority of this episode.
I just don't like Love Actually. I enjoy the Emma Thompson plotline. I think we've had this discussion before on the show, but I find every other storyline cringy, boring, or not funny. And usually a combination of all three.
I think it does have its like cringy moments. There are parts that I think could have been cut out. Specifically, I don't care about Colin. Get rid of him.
Yes, he is a disappointment, isn't he?
Yeah.
In that film. He's rather, I agree.
Yeah.
I couldn't actually tell you the plot. So what is it? I know there's a foreign woman.
He's a writer, and he's got a pen pal over to stay, an exchange student, and he falls madly in love with her, and then she throws all of his paper into the lake, and he's like, no, what have you done? She's like, no, I pick up the paper for you. And
I just thought it was weird
and he
because
marries her.
neither of them speak the same language, and then they just fall in love, and then.
But that means it really means that love is a wonderful thing, and it can happen to anyone. Language isn't a barrier.
They haven't really got to know each other that well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I find it weird. Love Actually is like not one of my favourites, but I do enjoy it. It's sort of a classic at Christmas. So.
And I'll always cry at Emma Thompson crying.
That's
in her
good.
bedroom.
Yeah. I cry.
You dirty man.
Kenneth Branagh, you dirty man. I cry just watching Mary Shelley's Frankenstein because I'm thinking, after set, they had it up. They probably had it off that night, and poor Emma's in London, not doing sliding doors, doing Sense and Sensibility.
I wish, Jesus, I wish.
Then he directed The Boat That Rocked, which I really enjoy.
I love that film.
I really enjoy The Boat That Rocked. I think Boat That Rocked is one of my sneaky, underrated Britcoms. I great music, great script. Bill Nighy, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Kenneth Branagh and Emma Thompson both in it. They never share a scene, but I always think, was there an after party? Chris O'Dowd is a wonderful bit with Betty from Mad Men, the wonderful January Jones, who we should have mentioned in Love Actually. That's another weird, cringy part. The guy who just goes to America to be with American women. And as a man who spent a month in America, it gets you a little bit, but you never end up in a foursome with 4 models. It's always just a passing thing of, oh my God, you're British. It's never Betty from Mad Men. Wow. And then he directed About Time, and then his last directing credit is Red Nose Day Actually. Writing wise, he obviously has a plethora more. He obviously did one of the chief creators of Blackadder, which for me I think is his peak.
I would agree with you there. I mean, I was watching Blackadder moments before I came onto this podcast.
There you go.
Love it.
He's also the pioneer of comic relief in England. We cannot ignore.
I didn't know
as much as I'd love to ignore. 4 Winners in a Funeral. This is another one that I think we all agree, don't we?
The best moment isn't even written by him. It was already
just a play, just already a poem. I think our joint opinion, and I think it's the opinion of a lot of people, is that the film is wonderful anytime Andy McDowell is not on screen. And then that actually bleeds into Hugh for me. I think,
he looks his best in that film, though. He looks his best.
Not Paddington 2.
Definitely no. Definitely.
Then he created Mr. Bean. I forgot that he created Mr. Bean.
Yeah. He's best mates with Rowan, isn't he?
I've never found Mr. Bean funny. Can I just say this now? I've never found Mr. Bean funny.
Wonderful.
Mr. Bean's Holiday just has a very special.
Oh, Mr. Bean's Holiday is. We need to do that. That's one of my favourite films ever.
I saw it in the box at Escape for my 7th birthday. I think it was a birthday, and I was in a box and everything. Very fun.
That's one of my sneaky favourite film soundtracks. Mr. Bean's Holiday. It's great.
It's It's up there with The Godfather. The theme or the songs that are in it?
Well, the music written for the movie, not like the snapshots of, yeah. You've got the Great.
First person ever to remember the Mr. Bean's holiday theme off by heart. Then he wrote Notting Hill, which, I mean, I think I'm on my own here. I don't like Julia Roberts, do I?
Love her.
Yeah.
Love it.
I'll join you with that, Tom.
Alec Baldwin's in it.
Alec Baldwin's
like Nazi.
wonderful in it. That's my favourite part. Also,
The weird Scottish
not funny.
roommate
Reese,
as well.
Reese fans.
Oh yeah,
Not funny,
the guy
too
who's
random.
really thick. Yeah,
Too
Yeah.
random.
the mayonnaise. It's not yogurt. It's mayonnaise. Continues to eat it. What a fool.
It's
What a
just
fool.
not funny.
Oh,
I don't
just
find
so
this stuff funny
angry.
at all. He wrote the what do you call it? He wrote the screenplay with Andrew Davis and Helen Fielding for the first two Bridget Jones's movies, which are obviously excellent. There's no way
The
around
best
that.
too.
He wrote additional material for One Night with Robbie Williams. There you go. He wrote a movie called The Girl in the Cafe with Bill Nighy and Kelly MacDonald. Oh, it's a old man young girl story. Lawrence, an aging lonely civil servant, falls for Gina, an enigmatic young woman, when he takes her to the GA summit in Reykjavik. However, their bond is tested by Lawrence's professional obligations. Wow, that sounds like a very dull film. Then he obviously created Vicar of Dibley, which is wonderful. Oh, I didn't know this. He wrote Vincent and the Doctor.
Yes, he did. He did, and you can tell because he puts Bill Nighy in the closing scene, and it's all very, very.
And it's bad.
It's great, but it's a rubbish baddie. It's just
Yeah.
it's just bad. People say, "Oh, it's one of the most amazing Doctor Who episodes ever." It's not a big B, Tom. It's a strange monster that can't be seen, but can only be seen in a mirror.
That's it. The B is Unicorn and the Wasp.
Unicorn and the Wasp,
Yeah.
which is a great episode.
He wrote the SEO Trot with Judi Dench and Dustin Hoffman.
I love
and
that.
Mr. What's he called? Uncle Bernard. He was in it, apparently. I liked that. And I believe... story. He's got a story credit on Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again. And Jesus, Yesterday. Abysmal. Absolutely.
How's your life, John? It's fine, it's fine.
It's fine. I would have met somebody, maybe. Terrible. Don't watch Yesterday, everybody. I went to watch Yesterday, and as he was driving up to see John Lennon, I whispered in the person I was watching its ear as a joke and said, "Bet you, what if he drives up and it's John Lennon?" I said it as a joke, and then it happened. This is a real film that was in cinemas.
Spoilers! I haven't seen it.
Don't watch it. Opening line, Hall of Fame. I always knew we had an odd family. Look at me.
Right, okay. I didn't realise Tom didn't like it as much as he clearly does. A wonderful opening line. Sets the movie very well.
I love it.
YouTube comments. What is it about Rachel McAdams and time travelers?
Was she Time Traveler's Wife as well?
She was the wife, yeah. Have you seen Time Traveler's Wife? That seems like a movie that you'll have watched when you were 10, Katrina, and it's your fourth favourite film.
Interestingly, I read the book before I watched the film, and I was probably too young to read that book.
Is it graphic? Is it sexually?
No, but it just wasn't. I don't think so. I haven't read it in a long time. But there's just, I don't think I should have.
Oh.
And I really loved the book, so I watched the film.
And the film,
it's just not. I don't like book to film adaptations most of the time.
Yeah. We are having you on Gone Girl, though. I would say upcoming episode. Very, very far-flung future. But that's an adaptation you enjoy.
One of the better, I'd say it's one of the best book to film adaptations.
I think I'd have to agree. Will's commented here. Rachel McAdams is an angel in this movie. Do you want to lay the tracks now, Will, of how much you adore Rachel McAdams in this film?
I think she's wonderful in every film.
Is this your favourite Rachel McAdams?
Is this? Yes, it is. This is my favourite Rachel McAdams. Closely followed.
Follow closely. Oh, take us down. That.
By Game Night, which is a great film.
Which was very
film.
lovely.
Yeah.
I very
love
much
Game
enjoy
Night.
Game Night.
I don't know what she's trying to do in the Sherlock Holmes movies.
No, I think she's wonderful as Irene.
Yeah, no, she's great as Irene, but is she trying to do an English accent? Is she not? Make up your mind.
It's not in the second movie. In the second movie, she's just American.
Well, she's killed off very quickly
Very
in the
early.
second movie.
I thought that was a wonderful reveal. We'll get to this in Sherlock Holmes 2, upcoming episode. But I didn't guess that in it for years.
No.
Well, no, I guessed it straight away, not for years after.
So do you prefer this to The Notebook then?
Yes. I prefer this to The Notebook, even though
I also prefer
Ryan is a
Yeah,
wonderful
I
man.
do as well.
Ryan Gosling's marvellous in it. I very much enjoy Jenna Rowlands. Jenna Rowlands is a absolutely where is it? Here is an absolute. Oh, I nearly did Dalek voice. Hello, it's about time. You can't hear it on here.
That's a very Northern Dalek.
Hello. But Jenna Rowlands, from who you might know as the old woman from The Notebook, is wonderful in the 70s movie A Woman Under the Influence, directed by her husband, John Cassavetes. Notebook, directed by Nick Cassavetes, their son. Yes, we love Jenna Rowlands. I think Notebook, though, does have its moments of rather syrupy, rather sickly sweet and saccharine.
I think it's a bit overrated. Everyone says it's like the best rom-com, but I'm not sure.
Definitely
I would
not the
say
best.
that.
Yeah, and I wouldn't call it a rom-com either. I'd just call it straight
Well, yes,
romance.
romantic, rather.
Yeah.
I don't know what comedic elements. Ha ha ha! When she forgets her husband. Oh, I love that. Ha ha ha! What a funny.
I vastly prefer About Time.
Yeah.
Like a lot.
Here we go. A beautiful movie with a meaning, different, not like these predictable ones. I have to say, this was a virgin watch for me. I wasn't surprised at any moment, really. Oh yeah. No, I don't want to be that guy. But I thought.
I think you are being that guy.
I'm not being that guy. I swear.
If you're about to say, yeah, it's very obvious that Bill Nye is going to die. Everyone thought that because that's the way.
No, but I also knew that. No, but I also guessed that. Oh, by the end of it, he's going to be like, "Oh, you can't live a perfect life. I'm just going to not time travel anymore." I was like, "Oh no, that's
the point
what's
of the
going to happen."
movie. Like,
That's where it.
that is the whole point of the movie. Is
You're
like
supposed
it's
to,
leading
yeah.
towards you going, oh, I don't need time travel to appreciate my life. And make the most
But
of
also,
every
No, but that should be a gradual journey across the film. It shouldn't. I
He
was
does,
like
and he
10
learns.
minutes in, and I was
he
like,
learns about why the dangers of time travel. But also, at the end, the message isn't don't use time travel. Live your life normally. That's part one of the secret to living a happy life. Part
"Don't
two
get me
is
started on that."
use time travel every single day. So he does.
No, he
And then
doesn't.
He
Yes.
does for a bit, and then he goes, "I don't time travel anymore now."
I just live every day like I've come back to it, and it's like my favourite day, and I think that's nice. I think that's really nice.
It really touched Crackass Wicked. Really touched me. My dad passed away 4 years ago. I wish I could go back in time just like Tim was doing. There are my very sad comments when you're scrolling through.
That's really sad.
I don't know about you guys, but if I was I was more moved by the father-son relationship more than the actual lead relationship. It caught me off guard, and it was so beautiful. I think I agree. I think
that's
Invested.
also another point though, is like it's not just a romance film, it's also about like family and like
Yeah.
you know, like loving your family and like and loving someone else and your friends as well. It's not just this great love story, it's about how you like fall in love with like everyone and like your friends and your family.
I think that's what makes it such a good film for me, is like it's not just a great romance, boy meets girl, all that. It's exploring the sort of the family relationships, and all the different characters are kind of very different, and it's exploring like how he interacts with them as well, which I like.
We'll start with your favourite parts, Will.
Thank you. Well,
no, we
got...
won't. That's a lie.
Okay.
We'll do a 10-minute stretch first, like we always do. But we can start with your 10-minute stretch.
As we always do. Right, some contenders. I've got 3 contenders. I've got the whole wedding sequence.
That's one of mine.
Wonderful, Tim. Don't shake your head.
Oh, sorry.
I've got that. I've got what is it now? The whole play and going back and changing around with the play.
Yeah.
I love that. But my best 10-minute stretch is when he is going back and reliving every day twice, and he's noticing.
Yeah, I love that.
It's the secret formula bit from that, where he like sits him down and says, "Here's the secret formula," and then the whole sort of the shots throughout the day, and then going back and doing it again. And it feels like from my perspective as well, it feels more relatable because it's like a London-based day, and like little things like on the tube and stuff, and you're just like, oh yeah, that's like it feels real.
Yeah, it's like, and it's just like really simple things. Like I like just getting a meal deal and just being like, oh yeah, and just being like, no, I love that bit. It's
Which
just so
The
nice.
perfect day formula is aggressively flirting with a waitress.
Oh, I don't think it's flirting.
Yeah.
Becky was very quick to say it was a pret.
Yes.
Which
I thought it was a pret. I thought it was a pret.
I've never been to a pret.
It's pronounced
but I
prat.
just knew it.
Oh, are we not talking about?
Good
I'm
one.
kidding. I like Domhnall Gleeson. I really do.
Oh no, I love
him.
And his
And I
father's
want to
even
clarify-
better.
I want to clarify.
Perfect.
Don't ruin Tom's big question. I've got here. Well, we'll get to it.
Who's the best Gleeson?
Who's the best Gleeson? What I also want to clarify, when I'm doing my voice, it's not Domhnall Gleeson. It's the Curtis. Ooh, I'm so quirky. Look at me.
Yeah, he does like to do his like
voiceover. You know what it is?
Yeah.
It's annoying Woody Allen. I
the opposite for me.
Exactly, I know. So I'm doing it. I'm in the middle of a marathon of Woody movies, and obviously we've got loads of Woody episodes coming up, and like all the the typical Woody rants, everybody finds so annoying. I could watch hours of. I can't sit through 4 Weddings and Notting Hill and.
Every director has their own idiosyncrasies. For Woody, it's that. For Richard, it's this.
It's like nice.
No, I'm not saying
it works for him, and it works for us because it's so wonderful.
Yeah. What's your favourite 10-minute stretch then? If you're moaning about us.
Are you all agreed? Are you all okay? I've got
I
the
only have
playwright.
one more, which is right at the end.
Yeah, I like that one, and I also like when he goes to her friend's party and he meets her and he goes up to her, and then they have the date, and then they walk back to hers, and then she's like, my car's here, and it's like, oh, Rachel McAdams, you sly dog. I like
It's
that.
good, but it's not as good as. Do you want a cup of coffee? I don't drink coffee. I haven't got any from Brastov, I have to say.
But that is.
Nor is it as good as Ryan Gosling walking back to his car. That was outside the party anyway. That's a better to me. That's a better anyway. My 10-minute stretches are the playwright sequence, with good old Richard, both Richards, Richard Griffiths, and Richard Grant, the 2 dicks, and then my other 10-minute stretch is Margot at the country house, and then dinner with Margot. They're my 2 and then cut.
That's the name of your autobiography, Dinner with Margot.
And then, but cut definitely, even if it's not 10 minutes, cut it before the wedding proposal. Yes, I think Margot Robbie's wonderful in this film, and we'll get to it in Tom's big question.
That's interesting.
Tom's Riddler's specific favourite parts of the film. And as Curtis quirky and annoying as it is, I do enjoy watching the film in the rain. I think I was like, oh no, I'd very much enjoy that. I love that there's no build up, and that was straight in. Well, not straight in, but like within 5 minutes, it's I've got a story that I've got a fun fact.
I think I like that. I like that bit because it's just so casual. Like, there's not like a big like, oh, I've got to tell you now before I go. It's literally just we can time travel. There's no explanation of why they can.
It's almost as if Bill Nye decided not to do 12 pages of written scripts and went straight into it off the cuff.
I also like the comedic aspect of Domhnall Gleeson going like, and when I'm in that cupboard and I come out and nothing's happened, I'm gonna hate you. And he just comes back like, whoa.
I simultaneously enjoy the writing aspect of paintings on the wall. Let's just get rid of all the plot holes now. Why can't I have a load of money? Well, look at your Uncle Arthur. He had a miserable life and he had money. However, that did annoy me when he was like, "Oh, we don't have a house. Oh, we can't afford." Just go back in time and just get 1,000 on a horse race, and then just pay your debts. You don't need to become a millionaire.
Right, have you seen Back to the Future too, Tom?
Yes, I have.
The consequences.
Because Tim's not Biff. Tim could just, go back to 1986 or whatever and get red rum and get 500 grand or whatever, buy a nice house, clear the mortgages.
But he says it in the film. Bill Nye is like, don't go for money. It's a bad idea.
I know, that's what I know. I just said so.
And there's also
things.
I know that it happened.
And the bit with like his uncle, it was his grandfather that got loads of money, and his uncle was the one who never had a job. And then they're like, look what happened to your Uncle Fred. He's like, what? He's like, absolutely fucking nothing. It's funny. It's all about how
it's quite
works.
No,
That's
it's quite funny.
Yeah.
But also, just Will agrees. He's trying not to, but he does agree with this point. Just get 100 grand, clear the mortgages, and then continue your nice life. Agree?
I would probably do that in Tim's situation, but that's a different movie. And Tim chose love.
Yeah.
He would still have love. I'm talking about when he's moved in with the 2 kids. And he's like,
Three kids.
3.
There's 3.
When he's got the 3 kids. And he's
he's like, a house that we can't afford.
The house that we can't afford. There we are.
Yeah.
Don't, Eva, don't rub it in. You've got the capability, Tim. You don't need to be a millionaire. But
also, he never actually explains to her that he can time travel. So it'd look really weird if you just like, look, we have so much money. She's like, where did that come from? And he's like,
it's a bet.
I was a gambler. She's like, is this an addiction? And then
and she leaves
him because he's got a gambling addiction.
No, it's just Grand National. Just go, I'm going big on the Grand National.
Yeah, but once you do one Grand National, Tom, you do the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and then Rachel McAdams leaves you.
She doesn't leave you.
A gambling addiction.
It wasn't happen. This is my problem.
It's supposed to be a realistic film, and it's still like
it's in a fucking cupboard.
You see right from the start that he is like, I want to live a real life. I don't want this to like completely change everything.
Yeah, I just want to go for
one thing that I'm going to use it for, and that's love, and that's what he does.
We were saying earlier, this is not a film. This is not a time travel movie. It's the decisions that Richard makes Tim do time travel for things that you would do anyway without the need of time travel. Make decisions that would influence real life.
I think it's quite realistic. Like, you're not trying to stop, like, like obviously he says he can't go back and kill Hitler or whatever, but you're not like trying to stop, like kind of like big events. You're just trying to. I'd go back in time because I said something I thought was stupid, and I'd regretted what I'd said, and that's what he does.
Yeah. No, I know, but he shouldn't moan about it. Next category. I've just put here Vanessa Kirby. I just really like Vanessa Kirby. Always have. I don't watch The Crown. I think she's very good in this. I think she's obviously better in Fallout. I like the tube montage. I don't like the busking really. I know that this is all three of your favourite thing. I know. I can hear you sighing. I'm looking at the words tube montage. Am I thinking of the other one? Oh, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't
There's
matter.
lots of montages.
My other specific favourite part is the Margot offer. Just the way she says it's better inside.
And he goes, no.
Oh, we'll get to that. It's
No.
a good question. Nye's speech, obviously, is the best part of the film. Have we had this conversation before? Oh, when he's dead, when he's going to die, and he's like, "Have we had this conversation?" Oh no, sorry, that's my Bill Nye voice.
It's like, have we had this conversation before?
Yeah.
That
was
so
a nice.
sad.
It was a nice little thing. Yes. And then I'm a big Nick Cave fan, and I love the song "Into My
I
Arms."
love Nick Cave.
And so it was very nice to hear in.
Or Kylie. Or Kylie.
Yes, Kylie and Nick Cave. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the thing.
I think other than Ellie Goulding, I really like the soundtrack to this film. I think it's such a shame.
I love the soundtrack.
I think it's such a shame they went with her because there are so many other, like more of a folksy kind, not folksy, but like there's like better music. She just seems so out of place in the soundtrack.
This is the sort of soundtrack you can get as completely new artists that no one's heard of and sort of bring them into that.
Why not make this busker famous?
Like the Il Mondo like wedding scene, like it's so nice. Like I like that bit, and like when obviously that means a lot to him, and then it's just her on her own, and it's like I guess it's a big name, that's why they picked her.
It's show business, isn't it? It's business at second pound.
I'm gonna be the devil's advocate, I guess, because I like Ellie Goulding
everywhere,
and I've not met anyone else who dislikes. So it's interesting to see a full house other than me who dislikes her.
We hate Ellie Goulding.
But
I don't hate her.
It's definitely one of those songs that everybody knows. Everybody kind of it's been on the radio, but it's still a cover, so it's like a more lovey version of it than. I'm not her biggest fan. I don't really like music, but I think it's more that she feels out of place in the soundtrack more than I dislike her rendition, if that makes sense. I think it's more like, I don't know, it just doesn't seem to fit in. I think the Buskers version was it felt more it flowed better.
Yeah, and the whole scene and the concept of the scene works, and it's a nice little thing, and then move on. Yeah. That's me. Will's more general favourite part of the film.
I love Tom Hollander in this movie. He is you, Tom. He is. He is you. He is you. I just love how he wears a dressing gown all the time. But also, Richard is also great in this.
Which
and
Richard?
When he's preparing for his play.
I know, but which Richard?
Yes.
Griffiths or Grant?
Griffiths.
Yes, sorry. Last film role. Fun fact spoiled. This was Richard Griffiths' last
Harry
film
Potter.
role.
Oh, this was.
No, this was.
I do like Pie in the Sky. Is great. I like Pie in the Sky.
History Boys, yes, no. And he was in the what do you call it? He was in the Equus where Danny Boy got it out. Do you not remember? No. When they did Equus by Peter Schaffer, which is about the boy who likes to have sex with horses, and he blinds one, and then Daniel Radcliffe, and you have to get your cock out. And Daniel Radcliffe did it because he was like, "I'm not Harry Potter anymore. I'm gonna get my cock out."
I'm following.
And then I think that's what he said. I said, "I'm Daniel Radcliffe. I'm going to get my cock out." He was in that with Richard Griffiths played the Burton.
Very good.
distant. Continue, sir.
I love Richard Griffiths when he comes in. He's like, "Oh, remember that line there?" And he's well, what do you want about? And then he walks out and he looks back into his scripts. I love that. Well, I'll talk about Richard E. Grant as well. He's great for getting his lines. He's bad in Doctor Who, but we'll forgive him.
Which Doctor Who is he in?
The Snowmen.
Yeah.
Oh
in that
yeah,
Christmas special, where
the David
he's like-
Morris. Oh, not the David Morris.
No, that's,
they were just like
that's the new Doctor.
Ragged.
No, this is
It's
when
the
they're
one
trying to
with-
Introduce Clara, the
Yeah.
impossible girl, and then they're like the knowledge of the great intelligence, I think he's called. And he's like-
I've literally only seen it once because I was like, it's nowhere near as good as the Catherine Jenkins one. Is that her name?
I don't like A Christmas Carol. I think Catherine. No,
I love
don't like it. It's
I
not
love that.
Voyage of the Damned.
No, Voyage of the Damned. There is no argument. The best Christmas special.
I've written Spooky Time. When Bill Nighy is doing his right, this is what you can time travel. It's like, get ready for Spooky Time.
Oh yeah.
That's great. A lot of these notes are actually Bill Nighy. Bill Nighy dancing at the wedding just before.
And then
Don't like that. That's another thing
And
I
then
don't like.
Lindsay Duncan giving him the Paddington stare. I love that. Lindsay Duncan as well.
I've got her in my notes.
I love
Wonderful
her.
woman. We love
Why
her
didn't
in.
you?
She says one of my favourite lines in the film.
Why didn't you tell me that Lindsay Duncan was in this film? This would have made it come earlier.
Because these are nice surprises. I didn't tell you Margot Robbie was in it because I thought it'd make you enjoy it more.
It's wonderful. Yes,
But
no.
she's great when she first meets Rachel and she asks, "Oh, you're too pretty."
Yeah.
And then the whole conversation with them on the beach when I love that. It's great. I've got.
I love the portrayal of mother-in-law daughter type,
Yeah.
daughter-in-law type relationships in movies.
Yeah, it's nice fun. I think there's a trope of like evil mother-in-law and like, and that isn't it. She's just.
But this is
I
more
like it.
realistic.
Yeah.
It's, where you actually get along with the mother-in-law and yeah.
Okay, I have some bad news.
You're dying.
No, not that bad.
I'm dying?
No, my parents are in town. They're visiting, and they're coming around.
Oh, God. Parents? American parents?
Mm-hmm.
When?
Now. Yeah, they told me, and I didn't tell you, and I thought they'd cancel because they normally do, and they didn't.
Now.
Now. So you should probably put on some pants.
Oh, God. Okay.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Do they know I exist?
Yeah, I've mentioned something like you, but nothing very specific. Oh, yeah, and they're quite conservative, so maybe not those pants. Okay. Yeah. Oh, God. Okay.
You just, stall them. Stall them.
Come on up.
Let's do.
Are you
the
done?
Oscar Travesty. I am
Are you
done.
Becky, Katrina, any really specific favourite parts?
I think Will's mentioned mine. It's like the little dance at the wedding.
I think I quite like Bill Nighy's best man speech. And he's like, I've only loved does he say something like, I've only loved 3 men in my life?
Bernard, Tim, and who was the other one? It's like a singer.
It's not Chuck Berry.
I can't remember the singer, but yeah, Uncle Desmond, and he's like, he says he loved me, and I'm like, and then I also liked, Kit Kat isn't my favourite character in the film particularly, but I do like the bit where.
God.
Can I finish?
No. Yes,
I'm
of course you can. Yeah.
I
You
like
just
the bit
reminded me of your sister.
where they go back in time and he tries to fix her, and then he goes home and his kid isn't his kid, and he's like, right, I can't fix her, she's got to fix herself. And that's really human. Like, you can't fix people, you've got to give them the opportunity to fix themselves. And I like that. That felt really, to me, that felt a lot like my relationship with like my siblings, and when they wait at a bed but they never you know, you can tell someone like 1,000 times, like, this isn't right, this isn't good. But until they realise that themselves, then they won't do anything. And that's why I liked it, the fact that he realised that's a really, you know, a human story that's told through time travel. And
I've had that with so many friends before. It's where you tell them don't do this thing, but then they will continue to do it, and you've just got to let them do it and wait for them to realise what's right in the situation, because you can't change people. I love it.
I'm like that with my dog. I tell him to do things and he keeps doing it.
Yeah.
But he has to learn the hard way.
Exactly. And you know, she's not my favourite character. I don't, you know, she's fine. But I think I quite like where she ends up as well. I like where a lot of characters end up.
I
her
really
and Jay
enjoyed the
is
character.
cute. Her and Jay is so cute. I love that.
Yes. Will's favourite building / set?
Are we not doing an Oscar travesty? Have you purposely skipped that one out? Because
when you and
I want to
Becky
know.
were late,
I want to know what it was nominated for.
It was nominated for nothing. We had a look before. We got it'll be an Oscars that we look at more in depth on upcoming episode Blue Jasmine. But the screenplay was Blue Jasmine. Her won. It's one we touched on before, 2013-14. Yeah.
Not even get a writing credit. No. Okay.
It didn't win any Oscars. It won a couple of other awards.
Very
I
good.
don't think
deserved any.
Initially, it did well in the box office, but critically, it didn't do amazingly. But it's more like the more
it's
people
not
watch
really
it,
a
the more it's
movie
become,
written
like,
for awards as well. It's more of a feel-good British sort of
Three wins, 3 nominations. Movies for Grown-Ups Award. It was a nominee for Bill Nighy. Same Movies for Grown-Ups, a nominee for Richard Curtis, screenplay. The Saturn Award at Science Fiction, it was a nominee for Best Fantasy, nominee for Supporting, a nominee for Best Editing. Oh, the Golden Trailer winner. Best Romance Poster winner.
Oh, I do like a poster.
It does have quite a nice one.
Yeah, I like it because they're laughing in the rain. It's cute. I like it. It's cute.
The San Sebastian International Film Festival, it won Best European Film, Richard Curtis.
Well, there you go.
Oh,
the
famous Utah Film Critics Association.
Wow, big acclaim.
Bill Nighy won Best Supporting Actor.
He was good in this film. He
is the best part of the film.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Will's favourite building on set, now that we've used him with.
I mean, I do like the house. It is coming into What's My Change, or Will's Big Question, which is a new thing I've added in. It's just a beautiful, the setting, I think the production design of this movie is wonderfully done. It's very, I was saying, I think a good word to describe this, it's eccentric. It's that British charm, eccentricity that sometimes can go a bit too far, but I think it's very well written in this film. I love the art gallery. I love art. The Kate exhibition is again great. And my other contender is I'm changing that. That's a bad building.
We'll get to that in change. Bad building. Will's worst building.
I like the London family house because it is like most London houses, and
I like that.
Yeah, again, it's the realism thing, and it's nice. I like the garden is sort of right on the back of the kitchen as well.
Could have had a better house. Red rum.
In London, maybe not.
Many clouds. Many
an
clouds.
awful lot of money.
Grand National 2015.
It would have needed.
He would have had lots of money.
He probably was minted anyway. He's a lawyer in London.
Yeah.
He could have lied and said he won the lottery, and then said, "Right, we've lost. I'm going to do Grand National. If we win money, if we double our winnings, then we're obviously far better off. If we lose it, then we didn't have any money to begin with. There you go. So he's lied to her, but it's a good lie.
I would say that house is probably like worth $1 million, that family house. And that's probably, if he's a good lawyer,
which he wins a case, so he seems to be one.
And he's happy about it. Oh, look at me, I'm so happy about my case. Unprofessional. Best single minute. Yeah, maybe I'm too cold. Best single minute. I've got the pitch. Well, I called it the pitch, but the whole telling him. And then coming home and preparation for the funeral. Any nominations yourselves?
My best single minute is the best man sequence, finishing with Bill Nighy's speech. With Bill, that's for me the best.
Maybe it's not the best, but I do like when they meet for the first time in the restaurant and everything's dark and they just don't even see each other and they just get along straight away. I'm just like, oh, so romantic. How amazing would that be?
2 points actually where I was pleasantly surprised by them not doing jokes. And they didn't do the really fat, ugly person comes out and then he goes, oh no, and then Rachel McAdams walks out. They didn't do that joke and I expected them to do that joke. Oh, what was the other one? Oh no.
So about, what have you touched there in the dark?
I'm Richard Curtis. I'm the writer and director of the film About Time. So here we go. This is Rachel McAdams playing Mary, Donald Gleeson playing Tim. And he is a guy who can time travel. And at last, he's found his true love. And he met her, and then he lost her, and then he met her again. And time traveling has been a huge problem as well as an advantage for him. But at last, in this scene, I think we're going to find that time travel is helpful. So look, the thing here, this scene was based on the fact that I think I said that the reason why I never had a one-night stand was because of the fact that it would have gone so badly.
It's a front opener.
That I never wanted to have a one-night stand with someone I actually liked, because that would have been the end of the relationship. So this was me just fulfilling a personal dream.
Oh, well done.
No, not in the dark scene. Oh, it was another... Anyway, it'll come to me.
I like how they did it. I think it flowed well. And there was a specific point I almost forgot about just here. Like when she comes out and she just slightly slips and there's like a bit of awkwardness and she's like, oh no,
I've just ruined it. The fringe and she's like, oh,
yeah.
It's so cute. I don't know. I guess that's maybe me being romantic, but it's nice that it's not like this big. Romantic. Yeah, but you're big romance.
I'm not. I like Blue Valentine. Well, they end up divorced, but I like Blue Valentine.
Yeah, great.
That's really realistic. I wouldn't say When Harry Met Sally's big. I'd say obviously the New Year seems big, but I'd say everything up to that point.
Either way, I just like that they just meet in a restaurant and they just talk to each other and he doesn't care how she looks. And then he goes home, Harry's play went bad, and he goes back in time and he doesn't have the number. It's like, how terrible. Horrible.
That's another thing I spotted straight away. Well, I mean that one's more obvious, obviously. But as soon as he went back in time,
you're supposed to be thinking he's not going to know her. He's not going to. You're supposed to know. Way
no, I don't think you are. I think Richard Curtis wrote that. I think Richard Curtis wrote that. And he was like, "They're going to forget." Ha ha ha. And then...
No, I don't. I think it's supposed to. There's so much tension, and you're supposed to be anxious and be like, "When is he going to realise that he doesn't have a number?" When?
Sorry, that was annoying.
When like you're waiting for him to realise has he made a mistake, has he done the right thing? You're waiting.
I agree, because I think the first time I watched this I was like, oh, but what about the night? What about her? Is he not going to meet her? Is he going to meet her afterwards? What if he's too late? And I was like fully expecting him to like go back to the restaurant and like see her walking out or something. So yeah, I feel like it puts that tension in you. My 3 favorite like single minutes are if it is, which it isn't, which it is, but it isn't, the whole back and forth between Bill Nighy and Donald Gleeson. I really enjoyed the deciding the wedding scene when she's like stripping it a bit off. I just think it's really fun. It's like, you know, something like you could see like a nice couple like doing that kind of thing. Because it reminded me of like people I knew as well, like Yeah. And then obviously the nice speech at the wedding.
That best man speech, so good.
It is good. Best line. Take it away. William, why don't you kick us off?
Hi, my name's Tim. No, I do think I like the we're all travelling through time together every day of our lives. All we can do is do our best to relish the remarkable ride. It's lovely, because we are all time travellers, Tom, because we travel forward in time.
Let me just puke in this bowl. The whole 20 minutes last 20 minutes completely lost me. I thought it was saccharine, and anyway, we'll get to it. I know.
I love the when he gets back to find out that Bill's got cancer, and she just says, "I'm furious," rather than "That's wonderful."
And she says, "I am so uninterested in a life without your father." Like, that like, I can't imagine feeling that much like love for someone that the idea of them not being in my life is just like uninterested. I'm bored. I'm done with it. I don't want that. Like, what? Oh, that broke my heart. Because like, as well, you don't see her as a character being loving and affectionate and that, but the fact that she just says it so plain.
And it's not just the classic, oh, I'm devastated, I'm really sad. It's such like an interesting take on it. They're like, I'm furious, and then I'm uninterested. Like those two words, which you just wouldn't really associate with like a death.
Yeah. Just I remember watching, like, even every time I watch it, it's just like I can't imagine how that feels. Like, I can't.
I've got in the I'll take an item of clothing off for every decision you make. I've got I'm not taking my panties off for Scotland. That's great.
Yeah. I'm not taking my pants off for Scotland. I think.
Do I have no heart? I look at you three and you're all laughing and giggling, and I feel like an alien.
You should.
I'm like, oh, I don't get it. This isn't. I found
because it's so cheeky, and it's like, like I don't know. That's the kind of like Love Island where you can like just like be like have like jokes and cheeky and
it's like
it's the sort of love
the kind of fun relationship that everyone wants.
Yeah, I don't
and then
care
he like chases
about
her into the.
But never.
Yeah, I don't care about grand romantic gestures. Like I love that. She was like, the bit where I also like, one of my favourite lines is when she's like, I'm so glad, I can't remember it off by heart, but she's like, I'm so glad you didn't go for like a big proposal and you just decided to do a small one. And then he has to go in and be like, get out. Because they're all playing the orchestra in the back.
How did he manage to get them there from the National
Because he
Theatre?
went back. He did the proposal again.
Yeah.
So I think the first time he rushed in, and the second time he was like, oh, I'll do something more.
No, I know he went back. I'm saying, how did he manage to swing that? He's got no money.
Well, he might have done it at the time. He's a lawyer in London. He's not like
he definitely
Paul.
doesn't have no money.
And maybe they were just like, he was like, I really want to propose to my girlfriend. Will you help me? Some people would just say yeah.
Not at 3 a.m.
Might not have been 3 a.m.
Yeah, because I reckon he went back on the whole meeting Margot Robbie thing again and just spent extra time, like, because that was the whole thing, because she was tired, so he was like, oh, I clearly need to go earlier in the night. So he had more time.
Yes.
Any other favourite lines from anyone else?
No.
I had have you enjoyed having Charlotte here all summer, Tim, from Bill Nye?
Yeah.
It was just the like sassy little, ooh, I know.
Oh, that's another favourite moment, when Bill gives him the eye when he jumps up to do the suntan lotion.
Oh yeah. I love
doing?
that I love when he goes back.
And then he goes back and he's like, let me just finish this chapter.
But that I mean, I'll do one of my what's the change now. There's no suntan lotion on his hand. He's just rubbing. It must be awful because it's just friction. It's skin on skin. That's gonna hurt.
I'm pretty sure he'd get over it.
My other two best lines are when they're having the argument after like Posey's ripped up all of the manuscript.
Oh yeah.
And Rachel McAdams is like, if you answer the goddamn phone, I will kill you with the phone. It's just comedic. I love it.
You know, starting to think we slightly wasted that summer holiday. If we could travel back in time, maybe I wouldn't have said no. I'm just staying around the corner. Can you walk me home?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Well, here we are. It's a lot nicer inside.
I'm sure it is. Mm-hmm. So lovely to see you, Charlotte. What a night. Total joy, but I've got to get back.
Yeah, I love it as well.
I guess.
Finally, when they're talking about a third child, and it's the reference to the Chinese one-child policy, and it's more than the Chinese are allowed. I quite like that. It's just clever humour.
Any reference to the Chinese one child policy.
Yeah.
It's a Becky favourite.
I just like clever humour when they're like based. It's not just like silly. It's based on something.
I also liked the line after, like he's gone back in time to like ask Charlotte at the beginning of summer. Like, and then at the end of the summer he asks, and then he goes, all the time traveling in the world can't make someone love you. And I'm just like,
yeah.
Because she just doesn't. She doesn't, and she's.
But
just
what
being
if?
A nice.
What if he'd have got loads of money, and then money could have bought him Margot Robbie?
But it's not love.
That's the movie I want to watch.
Yeah. That isn't love, though, is it? Like that.
It is.
That's just no.
Yeah, I think I'd get over it.
Oh, that's a man thing. I don't know.
No, I'm obviously being facetious. Obviously, falling in love with Rachel McAdams is obviously better. What's the change? Here we go.
No.
Right, name them one by one, and we'll disagree with you.
Yeah. Let me write a list.
All Curtisms. All the little. We've talked about this abundance now, but all the little. I don't like Curtisms. That's okay. I think all three of you agree that sometimes it's a touch too far.
Sometimes.
No, you all agree that it's a touch too far in other movies, don't you? You just don't think in this
I
one.
just like
it. Because I think this
I'm
isn't
not that
as
bothered.
courtesy. But it also adds to the eccentric.
This is my favourite kind
charm
of
of the
film.
film.
I love those sorts of things. Like, I know I'm on my own in like that specific style, but I love that style.
I don't mind it either, to be honest.
Personal preference.
I don't think you are on your own. Everybody loves Love Actually. Everybody loves all those movies we talked about earlier. And I'm the only guy who likes The Boat That Rocked.
No, I said I liked.
I know you do. It's me and Katrina on our little island.
But I do
Ironically,
also
it's a bit-
like Richard Curtis and these Curtisms. I don't know. I suppose I did know that, there's a lot of montage scenes in Love Actually, like meeting at the airport, and then there's a lot in About Time. I think About Time's a better one. I don't know. I think it's, it's literally just like random people like.
About Time
their
does
life.
montage scenes for the sake of storytelling, show not tell. We're getting somewhere, whereas I think Love Actually does put in a montage for the sake of stylism.
Yeah, that was one of the big critical things against La La Land. Everybody was like, oh, we don't actually see the relationship grow. It's just a bunch of montages. And they've never affected me, the montages in La La Land, rather. I thought they're all good. Next one.
I hate them. I love the montage scenes in Love Island. You're about to say.
There's lots of them. They're all over Love Island. Walking. And I guess this is just me. I hate the song Mr. Brightside. Let's have...
Oh.
I
when it's playing at
despise
the
the song.
I love that bit.
It is in my watch the change because I
British
think it's
culture.
played too early in the night. There's a
No.
certain time when you can play Mr. Brightside.
I don't know, I just love that scene, like when he goes back and he kisses that girl. And
I'm not necessarily talking about the scene this time. I'm talking about the song, Mr. Brightside.
I think that's just because, I don't know, maybe
Come on,
I
say
think
it's a
it. I
great
don't
choice.
like people, or whatever you're gonna say. I don't
It's a
like
great
cool things.
I never said
think
that.
it's just a great choice of song because it's literally like the song that
Every
defines
British
British
party.
culture. Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
at every party, and it like you need a like big song that everybody knows for that moment that you keep coming back to throughout the film,
Yeah.
so that you
It's instantly
recognize like, oh,
recognisable.
party. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
I
even
don't
when they
mind
go
the Sugar
back, he
Babes.
goes back with his sister, and they're in the like cupboard, and you can just about hear the music in the background, and you're like, "Oh, party!" Because you
Yeah.
immediately hear the music.
I really don't like the character of Desmond.
Oh,
I don't find him funny. I
Oh,
don't
he's
find him
cute.
charming. I don't
I
find
love
him
him.
cute at all.
I think
Every
he's just,
single time. It's just
I think he's
not
he's-
good.
he's just supposed to be like a disabled character. I don't think
It's
he's
implied
he's
that
meant to
he
be
has
funny.
something like dementia. He
or like
Yeah, or
some
like
kind of learning
kind of
disability.
or like a cognitive
No, but
ability
it's
thing,
not.
whether
I don't
that's
think
with
it's
age or
played
something.
that way. I think it's played the way of who is the wacky uncle who don't remember anybody.
I don't know. I think he does have funny scenes, but I think it's just supposed to be her brother. I don't necessarily think he's supposed to be played to be like, haha, he's stupid.
No, I'm not saying laugh at it. I'm saying that no, but the things that
Well,
he
you just
says.
said he was comedic.
Yeah, no,
Are
you're
you-
supposed to laugh when he goes. When he's like, "Oh,
Are you
who
referring
are
to-
you marrying?"
Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
you'd say that. That's not funny, and it's not meant to be. That's meant to be him being a character.
And everyone
it'd
feels
be
a bit
awkward if it
awkward
was
about it,
someone
and they're
else.
like, "Oh, like, haha."
No, because they all
That's
laugh
not
at the
to-
table. I don't think either. Actually, play up the make it a dementia thing. Make that one of the other sad things.
I
in
don't
it.
think he has dementia. I think he
Yeah,
has
no,
a
I
learning
don't
disability.
Yeah.
I think it's a learning disability, to be honest, because he seems to have always lived there, and he's always just been.
Yeah,
I
and
thought
the
he
way
was
that he
cute.
says,
I liked him.
the way that he says, I love Uncle Desmond, it's kind of implied, you know, like, I love him for who he is. He's always been like this, and that's why he lives with
Yeah,
us. And
he's a
yeah,
nice guy.
Not to me.
Next, Tom.
quirky.
The perfect day formula's a load of bullshit. Oh, I'm on the tube. Oh, I'm listening now. Do. Eat shit. It's so annoying and wrong. Oh, wonderful. I've got a sandwich. Ha ha ha.
It's supposed to be that he
Wait,
finds.
what's your point? I'm really confused.
It's
Yeah,
just
like,
annoying.
do you not like what
Also-
he does, or do you not like?
Ooh, knob. You're gonna lose your job. Get a grip. It's not funny.
Well, he could
It's
go
not
back in time
charming.
and not lose his job. Like, I
Oh,
don't
but he's not
understand.
gonna get any money.
Are you
I
annoyed?
still don't understand what your point is.
Are you annoyed at the fact that he goes back in time again,
It's not
or are
funny.
you annoyed? No,
It's
what?
not charming.
Okay.
It's not sweet. It's not life affirming. It's and also this leads into the ending. I was like, the end comes up. I thought, is that it? It just like sort of tipples
No,
out.
'cause
He's like,
I
oh,
think
I live every
also
day
this
now.
is a very like, unless you like live in London and you know what it's like it's.
I've lived in London for a year and a half.
You live
Yeah,
in
but, like,
Kent,
you live
Tom.
outside
You live in
of
Kent.
London.
No,
Oh,
but I know
come off it.
yes, but I know all the tube business, and I know what I've been to pissing Pret a Manger.
But like,
I've been on the tube.
People
Well,
who've
I don't still
grown-
look at it.
it's just people who like work there. There's a whole thing about like, oh, you know, I'd love to speak to someone on the tube or just like, you know, joke around, but you can't do it. It's like, it's the culture. And, you know, speaking to someone nicely at Pret, like, again, just nobody does it because everyone's so bogged down with work.
Yeah.
It's like, it's part of London culture that they are clearly like going against and being like, look, this is what people would be like if they were just like happy with their lives versus
whole
everybody is just really rude because nobody's enjoying their life. This is
The
the whole
whole
point.
thing about Southerners from London coming up to the north and being shocked when
this is
Northerners
another
go,
thing.
hiya, all right.
I think that's
Like,
another
even I
aspect to what
found
you're
that.
saying. My experience is different because I'm a nice person because I'm from up north. So I do all of these things anyway. I'm
Yeah,
nice
exactly.
to people on the
This is the
tube,
point.
and I'm nice. So basically, I find the final 15 minutes of the film cringy
But that's not the
because I'm
final
already
15
in-
minutes. That's
No.
not the final 15
Oh
minutes.
no, you're
Final-
right. And then no, because
That's
then
in the middle of the film, I'd say.
it's that
It's
final
towards
stretch.
the end.
That's where I've lost my interest.
Yeah, towards the end is when he realizes he doesn't want to do that and he just wants to live his life because he actually really likes his life.
I guess.
Because he's got a really nice life. Jesus, I wish I had a life
Yeah.
like that.
The Amelie poster in his room. That's just
Will
to
pointed this out.
Yeah,
He was like, who
tell,
has an
tell,
Emily?
Why-
telltale sign
why
he's a
has-
knob.
Yeah, why has he got an Amelie poster? Of all the
Because I
posters,
like Amelie. It's just
You've
like
got a
It's not like
Casablanca
Emily.
poster. You've got
Yeah.
Will, you've got a Pulp Fiction poster on
Yeah.
your wall.
Yeah, you both
Will-
have both.
no. Will's
No, but
Pulp
Will's got a
Fiction-
Pulp
Yeah.
Fiction poster. on
Will's
his
is
wall.
more obvious. Will's is on par with Amelie. I think my lovely Casablanca canvas.
If I walked into a boy's room and he has a Pulp Fiction poster, I'm like, I'm out of here.
Back to
Oh,
the
God.
Future's
I
on that
think it'd
one.
be more like Casablanca, really?
Yeah. Whereas if you saw that, you were like, oh, is that hand painted? No, it's like, no, it's a print.
No, I'd be like, why do you
Obviously
have
it's a print.
Casablanca canvas on your wall?
And
you
I'd
should have
go,
seen him
have
carrying
you-
that about at college.
And I'd say, have you seen Casablanca? No. And I'd go, do you want to watch it? And she said, no, I thought we were going to have sex. And go, well, it's only an hour 50. and then,
Seriously,
where have you
the
gone?
Pulp Fiction poster. You cannot say anything about Amelie if you have a Pulp Fiction poster on your wall.
What's on the other wall, Will? Scarface.
Back to the
Back to the
Future.
future.
Scarface is a
Future's
great film.
better. Scarface
No,
is a
it's
great film.
Shawshank, actually. It's Shawshank, actually. Which is a
What,
good
Rita
film.
Hayworth or a poster of the Shawshank Redemption?
Shawshank Redemption, which is a good film, but
It is.
like, as someone who does media and film at uni, it's like, oh, what's your favourite film? It's like, yeah, I actually really like Pulp Fiction, Shawshank, obviously. You know what I mean? Film
That's
bro,
right.
I'm out
The
of there.
reason why-
I'm gone.
I'd like to clarify the reason why there is a Pulp Fiction poster on that wall is because in Freshers Week, my first year of university, there was a poster sale, and these were the best two movie posters I could find. That
What
was
else?
the only Tarantino.
What were the other ones?
There was loads of Avengers stuff, and I
Yeah.
thought, no, I'm going to
you know, I
do
got-
Back to the Future Pulp Fiction.
From my posters thing in Freshers, I got Ferris Bueller. So.
Oh, well,
Very
he
good.
shit the bed there. Move.
I mean, I can confirm there weren't a very good selection when I was in Freshers either. I didn't buy any because I was just
There
like,
was loads
none
at
of you
mine.
need.
And I had a choice, and I just went, you know what? I've got to get Ferris on my wall.
What? And then at the end of the 3 years, they're like, do you want to donate your posters back?
No?
No, I take it to my house.
I was going to
They'll
say,
be
I
on,
wouldn't.
they'll be on a wall for the rest of my life.
Yeah,
They do
I
a
won't.
poster sale and a plant sale, and it's just supposed to be like, hey, buy some things to make your student room better.
Yeah.
Less like a prison.
Yeah, mine was
yeah,
prison-like.
more changes. You don't clap halfway through a play. After a monologue, that's not, you just don't do it.
I thought that was the
I
end.
thought that was
They're saying
No,
a guilty man, which is the name of the play, and
No,
it's
'cause
like
then
that's
he
how it ends.
continues. No, somebody claps after Griffiths, and then Richard E. Grant stands up.
Maybe they thought it was the end. Or
Um,
I don't know. Maybe
why-
maybe they don't. But
Why aren't Rachel McAdams as parents two great American actors in the great lineage of like bad movie? Well, not this isn't a bad movie, but in the great lineage of like cheap rom-coms, there's always two wonderful actors who play the mother-in-law and father-in-law. Bill Nye, for instance, in Chalet Girl. It's
Oh, what a move.
Sam Neill and Jessica Lange in Wimbledon, is it? It's like, does
Right,
it?
are you putting?
where are you going with this?
Are you putting About Time in the same category as Chalet Girl
Chalet
and
Girl.
Wimbledon?
And Wimbledon with Paul Bettany and Kirsten Dunst.
I would argue. No. Where are you
No,
getting
IoT
I'm saying
ugly.
cast two great Americans in the role of the parents. I know they're only.
I think it's a good
interesting.
Rob Reiner part.
Why aren't
It
they
is.
at the
How
wedding?
great would it? Yeah, why are they at the wedding? Why isn't Rob Reiner in the role? Two great questions. when he says definitely no oral sex, that's just stupid. Nobody would ever say that. Let's just cut
The
the
whole
bullshit.
point is that he's
It's
just
not
been
funny.
told.
I
he's
know,
been
but
told
nobody
not
would
to
say it. Katrina, you know I'm right.
If you could time
He's
travel, the
awkward,
stuff
he's
you would
nervous.
say.
Oh, I'm awkward. Oh, don't say oral sex. Why would I say oral sex in front of your parents? Oh, we've moved in together. Definitely no oral sex.
Because
You know that I'm
I
right
said
on this
stupid-
one.
No,
Yeah,
I
I
said
said stupid
really
things like that.
stupid stuff because someone's like,
You're like panicking of something to say, so you're like, and then you say like the one
is that
thing.
thing
Yeah.
that you've been told not to say.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I don't think it's stupid, but if I could go back in time, the amount of stupid stuff I would say, if I could.
Same.
Will, what's the one thing I love in a movie?
One thing, aren't there many things?
Kate Blanchett.
Margot Robbie.
Margot Robbie.
All of those things I agree with. I love a wedding.
Oh yeah, sorry. You do love a wedding.
You know what I didn't enjoy in this movie?
Can I say it? Is it Rachel McAdams' wedding dress?
Yes. Why is she wearing a red dress? That's disgusting.
I love it in this movie. I love it.
Foul.
What the heck?
Foul.
White wedding-
I know that she's lost it and she can't wear white.
No.
No, I'm kidding. No, I don't think it's a nice dress. I don't think. I
I'm glad
especially.
you're not a fashion designer.
I am
Tom, I've seen
the
how you
best
dress.
fashion consultant. My mother is like, it's a bit Norman Batesy.
Like
my mother,
Psycho.
yeah, my mother.
Tom wears a t-shirt, grey jeans, and some blue New Balances.
You
and says
two
that he's the height of
boys
fashion.
are incredibly traditionalist, and I know you both want like everything to be exactly as it should in traditional
like,
life.
No, you can. No, you
the
can.
whole
I'm
point.
fine with
She is
everything
not
else.
a traditional person. She didn't want
Yeah.
the big like proposal.
Don't
She
wear
let
a
him
red
basically
dress.
pick the whole wedding. She clearly didn't really care that much. She just wanted to get married to him. I
Don't
get
wear a
the
red
impression
dress.
she wasn't
Why
fussed by any of
not?
it. She just wanted a nice day.
But
I
you know
don't
what I
understand
do
why you
like?
can't wear a red dress at your wedding.
Yeah.
It's
It's
a
not
white
happening.
wedding. Shut up.
No,
Something
I really hope
traditionalist.
just
that
the
your
Wear what
future
she wants
wife
on her day.
wants to wear a red dress, and that is
Um,
the argument that breaks you.
I'll put it in some profile of something. I'll be like, only white dresses, and then they'll think,
I hope
is he like
when you get married, I hope she chooses like a pink dress and not a white dress.
Even
I
you
hope-
would go, don't do pink, darling.
It depends what kind of pink. If it's a blush pink, I'm all about it. They look so good.
Here's
My
it right.
dad is told he shouldn't wear pink shirts, but that's a different conversation.
And also, you know what? You say I'm traditionalist. You know what thing I do like? People
Armando.
playing songs when they're walking down the aisle instead of da, 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 da. I
Yeah.
enjoy that concept. I went
And then
to,
a whole live band stands up and starts playing.
well, there we go. I hate that in Love Actually as well.
I've never been at a wedding where they played a wedding march, and I've been to a lot of weddings, and
Yeah.
I've never ever been.
I
to a
almost
wedding
think it's
boys.
more traditional, just to have music. walking
Yeah.
down the aisle.
The
Any
so
sort of
then
music.
then also the whole rain. I found it terribly cringy. I'm sorry. I feel sorry. I feel like I have to say I'm sorry after all of these things I say.
British,
I-
like again,
I
it's
love
like a
British
comment on the fact
movies.
it's
I love
it's
brief
British
encounters.
weather.
Jesus.
It's in Cornwall. Everything's going wrong. Like so many British weddings.
And
like
at
you
the
have this
end of
big, nice
it-
wedding plan.
At the end of it, he says, "If you could go back and choose a different date, would you?" And she says, "No." And that's so nice. She doesn't
Yeah,
care.
she just wants to get married. She doesn't care about the day. And
Oh,
he's
and
thinking like, "Oh, I want to make
obviously,
it perfect," and she's like, "I just want to marry you." And
The
that's
rain
adorable.
montage tips me over the
Lovely.
head.
I would agree with you, Tom, that I like the rain. I think the rain's fine. But what I don't like is how everyone loves the rain. And they're like,
Yes,
oh, and
that's
when the
what- yeah.
whole food,
Ha,
the food tent with all that delicious food
Exactly.
What?
caves under,
I-
everyone's like, oh, look,
Ridiculous.
all the food's
I
got
just
wet.
watched.
It's a waste of food.
No, it's
I
just Vanessa
watched that,
Kirby
and
was like,
everyone was annoyed.
Yeah, everyone's like, "Ugh."
She's
including, like,
annoyed.
no,
The-
because then
like
they're like,
Harry
no,
is like,
when they're
"Ooh,
walking in
ooh."
the wind, and the rain, they're all like, ha ha
It's-
ha.
It's
ha, ha,
just
ha.
Tom Hollander that
It's
doesn't
also a
like it.
wedding. Like people are generally happy at weddings. And,
I know,
like, even
that's
if
why
things
weddings
go
are
wrong,
great.
I
just-
think it's funny. I've been caught in the rain before, and it's just funny. Like it's supposed to be a wedding. It's supposed to be like this perfect day. It just isn't. It's funny. Not funny for them, but just funny in general.
Changes sort of bled into my notes. Do either of you three have any changes?
I've said, why do they have to be so posh?
Yeah.
This
Very
is
middle
just-
class.
Just my jealousy of the middle class.
Yeah.
But probably because the previous
money thing,
descendants
yeah.
have got money, and so the money is in the family. But
that'd be a more interesting thing with the money.
Very
aspect.
Why do all of these Richard Curtis films have to be middle class, very well done families?
I don't mind that, but I think you're hitting on something interesting, which we were talking about with the money aspect. It'd probably be more interesting, and the money thing would be an actual issue if it wasn't a throwaway line of house we can't afford, because you can afford it, you're there, and you stay there for the rest of your life. If it was,
I think they do move house.
I think they probably have a mortgage, Tom. Everyone,
No, I
one
know
can
people
afford
have-
their house.
no,
Then
I know
they took
people
out
have
loans.
mortgages.
If you want to talk about the property market,
No, but
I'll
I'm saying,
happily talk about London property markets.
but
Nobody
if they
in
were-
London can afford anything. That's
No,
just the way it works.
true. But
Everyone
if-
complains about
if-
money.
If they were more working class and they really couldn't afford things, and then he'd be in a bit of a more of a dilemma of the money wise. Anyway, any
But
other
then
changes?
it wouldn't make sense with the grandfather with the money. So I think everything in this film, this is one of the things I really like. Everything's been thought through. Even when you're like watching how they have the cinema outside type thing, and you're like, oh, this is so unrealistic. It always rains in the UK. And then they're like, whatever the weather. And you're like, they thought about it. There's just like little things where you're like, oh, but that's not realistic. And then they'll comment on it. I like it a lot.
Yeah. I don't know if there's anything I would change. No offense, Becky. I know you're an Ellie Goulding fan. That's probably
Die Hard EG.
number
I'm
one
definitely
fan.
not a diehard fan. I'm just like,
I think, but I already spoke about that and the fact that I just think
that's just
it just
obvious to
doesn't
cut.
fit with the rest of the soundtrack. That's like one of my big things. I don't know. I don't think there's much.
What's
anything
left
else.
from Will's notes then?
I have one thing.
Shoot.
And it's like I'm okay with like there's a lot of like time travel plot hole points, but like again it's not a time travel movie. It's like, as Will said, it's more about the like relationships between everyone. So I kind of look past them. The only thing that is an issue for me is like they've put such emphasis on the you can't go back beyond having kids. And then they do it when he's like it's the last time just before he has the third kid. They go back and like run along the beach with Donald Gleeson as a kid basically.
Oh yeah.
Oh, but I love
and I'm
that
like
bit.
I love it and I think it works really well. I just think having put so much emphasis on that don't go back beyond the kids, and I know they're like, oh, if we don't change anything, so maybe it's to do with the change, but it's still like, different sperm meets the egg thing. Like,
oh no, Becky, I really don't like this film now. That's
the only thing for me though.
You know,
but
the
I
thing
love
is,
the rest of
though,
the film.
You know, the thing is, Tom, I knew you wouldn't just because everyone else does.
Oh no, don't say that because that's not true. La La Land.
Mr. Casablanca.
I love La La Land. My
No,
favourite film
here's
is
the
Shawshank
thing.
Redemption.
Lots of people
The
didn't
most-
like La La Land.
Oh, no, because I like. I love Monsters Inc.
Have I not always said this about Tom? And he's always
No.
had the same things, and I've always had the same opinions.
Three billboards. One. No, it didn't win Best Picture.
It didn't win.
Shape of Water won. I enjoyed that. That won.
No one else did.
Wow. Lots of people didn't like that.
Snatch.
I think the reason
really
Tom
like
doesn't
Snatch.
like this is because it's not like a classically good written movie. It's not.
Because it's not scenes of
There's
two
a
people
style of-
confessing love and having clever dialogue between each
No,
other.
because
it's
that's not
actually
true.
just a
Because
feel
I
style.
love Jackass
Yeah.
3. These things that you
That's
say
not
are
a romance
wrong.
film. That's not a romance film. You weren't
No.
going to like it because it's not how you'd want your romance to go.
No, because I like 40.
It's too real.
I like
I'm so
Name a
right.
realistic romantic film, Tom, that you
Lost
you
in
like.
Translation. They don't even get together. Annie Hall, which we're going to do in the next
Lost in
episode.
Translation. Oh my god.
I don't.
Annie
think
Hall.
That's the one. Annie Hall, yes, he did go up, but also it's realistic, but you would like it because it's Woody Allen and it's got the Woodyisms, which you said that you didn't like about Curtis. You didn't like his Curtisisms.
Oh my god, we're late.
No, we're not.
It'll be fine. It's alright. Oh my god.
Okay.
long as stars are above you. Longer if I can. How long will I need you?
Oh, we're in trouble then.
As long as the seasons meet to
I'm taking you
follow their plan. How long will I get to you? As long as I live to you.
Tom's ideal rom-com
because
is
one
just
of my
two
second
people
favourite Woody
walking down
Allen-
a street talking.
No, because my second favourite Woody Allen movie is Blue
He's-
Jasmine, and he's not even in it.
But it's still a Woody Allen film.
Yes, of course. Titanic. Oh, come on. I adore Titanic.
But it's
Very
not
good.
realistic. Oh, she finds the jewel
An
in her
iceberg that
pocket.
size
Whoa.
couldn't
Titanic-
destroy a ship. That's
No.
not realistic.
No, the love story.
There's
Yeah.
no way that ship's
It's
sinking.
how people interact. There's a very
Yeah,
specific
it's-
thing in this film
You said you
about
didn't like.
how real it is.
Wedding
you said you
Singer.
didn't. Tom, you're not making. The
Wedding
thing
Singer.
is, you said you didn't like the bit that us three liked when they're saying, "Oh, he's not going to take his pants off for Scotland." That's the exact kind of way that I that's how I would interact in a couple, and how I have interacted in a
Same.
couple.
Me too. I
And-
played strip cribbage.
That's
You
not
know,
strip.
strip
Strip cribbage. But that's not. It's not about the script. It's about how.
I know it's not about this. I know
and
it's
the
not.
dialogue. You don't
Not
like that
about the
because you
cribbage.
want a big. While you do
No,
want.
that's not true. Just because I like it in my movies, is this becoming therapy? Are we talking about my own relationships
No,
now?
I think
My own
I think-
relationships aren't like when I met Sally, clearly, because there isn't one. But the slow deterioration.
What we're
Lies.
trying to say is we don't think you would like. I knew you wouldn't like this film. I just knew you wouldn't.
No, because I don't. I enjoy forwardings and a funeral to an extent.
But this is the point is you only really like the bits that doesn't have one of the main characters in. I don't like her. My favourite bit is, as we all know, the John Hannah
Tiffany,
funerals theme.
yeah. Simon
I-
Callow and John Tiffany's gay romances.
But
Are they
this
gay or do
film-
they just live together?
No, they're gay. Come on, man.
No, I know they're gay because John Tiffany
They're
is
gay
then
together.
John Hannah.
They're
Sorry.
gay. They're gay together.
Yeah, that's
Come on.
right. Yeah, that's what I've always thought. But you don't see them anyway. They don't need. It's the 90s.
The point is that no one knows. Anyway, let's not talk about full weddings. But about
Different
time,
movie.
I just knew you wouldn't like it. For the reasons that
Yeah.
we
Here we
us
go.
two like it.
I could have
Fun
predicted that
fact.
Tom wouldn't like it.
No, here we go. I'm going to prove you all wrong. Because this is a movie that everybody loves, and it's a movie that's realistic, romantic-wise. And it leads into our first fun fact:
Chicken.
500 Days of Summer.
500 Days of Summer.
Is he going to
It's
bring in
not
the
like
argument?
Cut
It's based
April,
on
no.
Woody.
Cut April. Cut the. My name's April. Spoilers for What's the Change.
It's
Her name isn't April.
It is April.
I don't think it is.
my thing is right. It's
The
not
one at the end.
I'm not talking about realistic relationships.
June.
I'm talking about realistic conversations and the dialogue that happens in the film. And the dialogue is definitely not Tom's. Like Tom would not like.
Yeah, Tom. I've said before, your dialogue, the way you
Tom does
write
not
your
write realistic
dialogue
dialogue.
is how you speak. And I've said before, these don't feel like real people. And
You
that's
didn't
what
say that about
Tom-
tributes.
I did.
His
That's one
tributes
of
is
my
very
main
good.
Thank you.
tributes. Is one of the ones where I was like, wow, he seems to be getting there. But one of my main.
You get in there, Tom.
Bill, how many times is my criticisms of Tom?
But also,
these don't feel like real people. And in About Time,
don't you think that About Time has all of these criticisms just because of the one scene of "Ooh, my boobs for Scotland"?
No, we're not talking about.
So many
not
points
just
of
that bit.
they say witty things or they say really.
I'm witty all the time. It happens. People are witty in real life.
Let's leave this. This is turning into when you all start talking about my eyes. Now I do something with my eyes, and I still don't know what it is.
Oh, you've done it again.
Fun fact. Will,
Yeah,
this
fun fact.
is mainly for you. I mean, it's not. First fun fact. Zooey Deschanel was originally cast as Mary, but dropped out due to scheduling conflicts. Is this movie better or worse with Zooey Deschanel? I say a firm yes.
Oh, that's a very hard
No,
question.
here's why.
Bubbly and
Yeah, she's too quirky.
quirky.
Oh,
Like a
okay,
calm,
Zoe.
sort of, I don't care.
Rachel McAdam, yeah, she's more like chilled out and casual. I could not believe
You
Zoe
wouldn't change the
Deschanel character.
script.
Yeah, but here's the thing: it's not the script; it's the characterization. And I could not imagine Zoe Deschanel character being okay with wearing a wedding dress and having a wedding in the rain.
If I were to cast Zoe Deschanel in this movie, I'd cast her as Kit Kat.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It would make Kit
Next
Kat less
fun fact.
insufferable.
Typecasting here, but still.
Yeah, and also she's not actually that quirky in 500 Days of Summer. She just likes the Smiths.
No, I mean that's the whole point.
Ringo-
That's the
Ringo's-
whole point of that. We won't talk about that.
Ringo's
But-
her favourite Beatle. She's not
But
like.
I
oh, God.
still couldn't. I don't know. I don't think Zoe Deschanel would have had the right characterization.
In South Korea, how the best fun facts start. In South Korea, more than 3 million people watched this movie, which made it a surprise hit there. The fun facts were really slim this week, I have to say. Here you go, Becky, Mrs. Londoner. What line were the scenes on the Underground filmed at? Oh, sorry.
Bakerloo. Well,
Yeah,
it's Maida
Bakerloo.
Vale Station, which is on the Bakerloo line. And it's near Abbey Road and St John's Wood, which is where he
Yes.
first lives.
Which there's a bunch of deleted scenes, and I watched them all. There's a really funny one where he keeps getting asked to do the Beatles Abbey Road picture, and he gets annoyed at it.
Oh yeah, I've seen
That wasn't funny. That should have been in the movie because it was funny. Can you guess
There you go, Tom.
the 3 Harry Potter stars in this film?
Donald Gleeson, he's one.
Yep.
Bill Nye.
Yep.
Yeah, he is.
Yep.
He plays Rufus Scrimgeour.
And can you get the 3rd?
Of course,
Richard Griffiths.
Griffiths.
Of course, Richard
Of
Griffiths.
course.
Yes. That I'm spent for fun facts. Has anybody else got any?
Fun fact: I love this film.
Thank you, Katrina.
Very fun facts.
Tom's big questions. Who's the better Gleeson, Brendan or Donal? It's Brendan.
Brendan. I love Donald Gleeson.
I prefer Donald Gleeson's films from what I've seen. You know.
Maybe.
I mean,
Hampstead.
Brendan Gleeson was in one of the worst films I've personally ever seen, and that is the Assassin's Creed film.
Oh, yeah, but he was also in Bruges. Brendan Gleeson wins the award for just the line, "I think I'm gonna die now." Excellent.
Nobody does nothing for no. I love that one.
Yeah, Paddington 2, obviously. Brendan Gleeson is the best. You know, it's a
Back
really,
lens.
really good movie, Calvary, where Brendan Gleeson plays a priest, and he's doing Sunday confessions, and a guy comes in and he's like, "Yeah, priest raped me, so I don't know that priest, but I'm going to kill you on Sunday, and hopefully that'll do some good spreading of the news about molestation." And so Brendan Gleeson, for the rest of the week, it's a bit like a whodunit, not like full-blown Agatha Christie. It's more like it's written by Michael McDonough, the brother of Martin McDonough of In Bruges, 3 Billboards fame, and it's very good. And Chris O'Dowd's in it. And I bring it up because one of the people that Brendan Gleeson goes to see is a guy who plays. He goes to see a child murderer in prison, played by Donald Gleeson, and they share some good scenes together.
Oh, very good.
Calvary, wonderful film.
Really similar to About Time, then.
Yes, lots of child molestation in About Time.
Oh, don't say that.
Dark. Groundhog Day is just better. I'm phrasing it. I was going to phrase it as a question, but it is, isn't it?
No, this isn't Groundhog Day.
This isn't a Groundhog Day film.
It's definitely Right, you
No,
can
because
say
Groundhog Day,
obviously.
Groundhog Day, he doesn't have a choice about going back. He also has to die.
He doesn't have to die.
But when he goes to sleep, he wakes up and it's the day you know, it's the day that he's just
Yeah.
done.
I was just getting
And then
big vibes.
About time, he's just like, oh, I fancy going back to, I don't know, that concert I went to like 10 years ago. You could do that. You can't do that in
You could
Groundhog
easily say that every time travel movie is Groundhog Day.
No,
But
no,
it's not.
you know what
like,
I'm
this
saying.
is very much
No,
not.
I don't know what you're saying.
Yes,
I have
right.
no
Okay,
clue
here we go.
what you're trying
Here we
to
go.
say.
The 30 minutes in Groundhog Day where he keeps going back and changing the date with Andy McDowell, and he gets the sexy woman in the pink jeggings to have sex with him.
Yeah.
That is very reminiscent of the Margot Robbie stuff, of the changing the date stuff in this movie. And I was just getting big. Come on, Will.
Oh. Ah, I get you. This is it then.
This is it. It's my last bit of extra time. The baby is completely on the way. Congratulations.
My son.
My dad. Is there anything at all I can do? Is there anything you want to do?
I don't.
No,
You do
I'm sorry,
agree.
Oh.
You do agree.
I will agree that Groundhog Day is an excellent movie.
Therefore, they're the same movie.
But
Yeah.
any
No,
time travel
it's
movie,
not time travel.
you'd
no,
go back and try to get a lady.
Yeah.
No, not Back to the Future, not Looper.
Oh yeah. Well, that's what we're trying to
Not
say.
The Time Machine with Guy Pearce.
But
Oh, that, I love that.
The point
Of course you
is, the point
Great
is,
soundtrack. Eloy.
this film isn't anything like Groundhog Day because there are like barely any similarities. I think you were just like, oh, I need to
No,
find.
that's not true at all. I don't like this. I'm turning into Bill Nighy. It's either Eva Peron or Bill Nighy. I think the middle of Groundhog Day is very reminiscent and a better version of the Margot Robbie / multiple dates with McAdams middle of this. Anyway, the Kate Moss thing's complete bullshit. When they are really nice to him at the Tate, and it's like, and this
That is one of the
turn.
things I would change from this
Yeah.
film. Not
Ridiculous.
necessarily that, but there's a thin line between nice and creepy. And
Oh yeah,
I'm not
and
necessarily
he,
sure.
Ooh, goes way over.
There's the bit where he asks the exact. Why would you give
Yeah,
this man you never met before your exact address?
And then
to a
Vanessa
bar?
Kirby laughs like it's funny. It was like, well, it's 182 Mad Men Lane.
I think they're clearly just playing with him because they think he might have
Kill
autism or
them.
something like that. And then they're being awful people and stringing him along because he's being friendly. So
Yeah,
they are
there is-
helping him, but they're joking with each other. Oh,
When
There
did
is
you
the
meet?
funny-
No, seriously. Tell me now. Tell me when you met. It
There is
goes
the
too
funny
far.
bit. There's the funny bit where she said that he had a boyfriend. He goes, no, and it's like,
I guess.
I just think that line you could either read as like charming and just like, oh, he really likes this person, or like slightly creepy. And I think it's a bit of both. And I think he definitely would
It's
have come across
realistic.
creepy.
I'll give you that. It was refreshing in a way that he was a bit weird. Of like, oh no, he's going a bit too far with this.
And you know when you're like, oh, stop.
Yeah,
But it's-
can't
But you're also like, he can afford to do it because like this isn't going to exist in the future.
Yeah, that's
True.
completely true.
If I need to find out a piece of information, I would push it if I know
Yeah.
that that's not going to be what people remember. So
Yeah,
here's
that's
the
true.
here's Tom's genuine, real big question.
Margot Robbie.
A, why did they cast Margot Robbie when there's just no... Maybe this is just my own personal taste. There's just no... It's not even the same ballpark, her and Rachel McAdams. I mean... And also, is Tim that good a man that he wouldn't have it off once with Margot and then go back in time.
That's so sad that you would do that.
I wouldn't do that. No.
You just said, is he a good enough man? Well, if you don't think you'd be good enough to do that, then you clearly are already thinking that he would.
No, actually, because I put myself in the space of. No, I put myself in the space of, if I'm watching this with a girlfriend and then this scene comes on. No, because, no, it depends.
And you say, I would never do that. Of course you'd say that.
No, I wouldn't
the fact
do
that you even thought.
No, because
Clearly
I can
shows
tell
that
you,
you
I can tell you exactly what I imagined myself saying. I was like, I don't need to because I'm dating Margot Robbie, not Rachel McAdams. And that's the truth with certain past people.
McAdams.
I know he is, of course he is.
Like, you become blinded when you're like fully in love with someone.
Yeah.
And I
wouldn't know. Wouldn't know.
Anymore.
But I wouldn't.
I
think it's sad to think that you would think that someone wouldn't, because
I just think it's just Tom's big question. I'm just throwing it out there.
Will
stay quiet.
Well, yeah,
because we clarified I love Rachel McAdams.
Yeah.
Everybody would think like, oh, what would I do in that situation? Would I, go and cheat on my wife knowing that like it never happened technically, so I never technically cheated, but then it's constantly on your mind. This is my thought process anyway. Like, great, one night, but then you've got to live the rest of your life knowing that you did that bad thing.
Yeah.
And like,
I wouldn't do it. I just wanted to bring it up in Tom's big questions, and I think that Katrina's unwarranted villainization of me throughout this entire podcast is really showing. Here's a genuine question: could you ever date? Never mind, go to bed with. Never mind, marry someone with your mother's name.
You say an American.
I asked this. I think it depends your relationship with your mother. If you're like kind of
any
fairly
relationship.
friendly,
Sorry, I keep
you think she's a really lovely lady, then I see no issue. I think if you have a bit of a weird relationship with a parent, then
you'd never be able to say stuff during sex.
I think.
Well, he doesn't call his mum Mary. He calls his mum Mum.
Becky asked me this
I would
as
never
well.
date a Sarah or an Isabel or a John.
That's the thing. For me it would be difficult because I don't think I would find anyone my age called Leslie. But that's a different argument.
My parents.
I would date a Jane because my mum's got a weird spelling of Jane, so it's not the same name.
My middle name's Jane.
Right, let's stop me if this is going too far.
I wouldn't date a guy called Robin though. I would not date a guy called Robin.
Yeah,
you're right.
I could never be in bed with somebody and go, oh, this is it's making me sick now.
That's because I have a bad relationship with my father. I think if I had a better one, it probably wouldn't.
This is what I'm saying. I think if you get along with your parents well and you respect them as a person,
I don't really.
You have no issues with the name.
I respect mine, but it's still.
I don't call my mum Jane. I call my mum Mum. So
yeah, me too. But
I would never. I wouldn't. It wouldn't faze me. I don't know my mum as Jane.
Isabel's different. That's a different.
Yeah, that's different. I don't think I could date someone named George or like.
Yeah, I think brother or sister's a bit like too much. Parent, there's like a clear distinction.
Of like,
and they're different ages as well.
So I do. Whereas I call my dad by his name sometimes.
This actually leads us on to Tom's next big question. Could you ever date somebody in your family?
What?
That was obviously
I think
a joke.
slowly.
It was a joke. Synopsis of a sequel. I definitely don't want one.
A prequel perhaps I'd quite like to see how
Bill Nighy
and how they got together because like you said, like cool 70s guys smoking, like that'd be
different
quite cool.
Generational things. Yeah, I think you could do like looking at say like Tim's son or Bill Nighy's characters.
Godfather Part 2 prequel with Bill Nighy whilst we see the son, just like
Fish.
I would love to see. Because Tim, I feel like because Tim's so focused on finding love, that was one film. Because I bet Bill Nighy didn't give a shit about finding love at the time.
He said books.
But I don't reckon it will just have been books. You could play a whole like rock and roll kind of like smoking cool guy who just happens to fall in love rather than a story where someone is actively looking for it.
It's a film where, like, I think if there was a sequel or prequel, I would be like, oh, you're gonna ruin it. But if it was done really well, it could be really good.
It depends on the creative team. If tomorrow Richard said,
if I did it, it would be amazing.
Yeah. And if I did it, people would go, why is this one a lot more depressing and they all talk like they're from the 50s?
Yeah, and why do they all have American accents even though they're in England?
They all smoke.
Why do they all carry whiskey and do that with their whiskey glass?
Why do they all cover their faces like this?
Why is Margot Robbie the main character now again?
That's a sequel, Becky. Well done. Yeah, Margot Robbie returns. Oh,
that's the subtitle.
The return of Robbie.
About time. The return
Robbie's
of Margot
Robbie. Closing line Hall of Fame. I didn't even get it this time. It's probably I don't time travel. I like life. Woo. Well, is that correct?
No, it's in his last monologue.
And in the end, I think I've learnt the final lesson from my travels in time. And I've even gone one step further than my father did. The truth is, I now don't travel back at all, not even for the day. I just try to live every day as if I've deliberately come back to this one day, to enjoy it, as if it was the full final day of my extraordinary, ordinary life.
Love it. Oh, beautiful.
Wonderful.
Love it.
I love extraordinary, ordinary.
That's the point, though. His life is really normal, but also he can time travel, so it's not really that normal. But he's intentionally made his life
that's
normal.
That's the whole film, isn't it? Eccentricity with realism.
This is like with you, Tom, with The Exorcist. You can take out all the demons, and it's still great. This is not a time travel movie. This is a Rachel McAdams.
I think you'll find that you'll find that none of my changes had anything to do with the time travel, apart from the money.
That's one I did like in the time travel that they never just went, well, why can we time travel? It's never answered because it doesn't need to be answered.
Yeah, it's not relevant.
121 gigawatts. That's what it's missing, Christopher Lloyd. Well then, Katrina, first time around, you'll be back again for Gwyneth Paltrow and her sliding doors. Speaking of John Hannah,
love him.
Do you have any final thoughts on About Time?
One of my favorite things about this film is that, like, while everyone's like good looking, no one's like, other than Margot Robbie, let's be real, and maybe Rachel McAdams as well, if that's your type, Will. But
I
even
think she looks, sorry.
She looks.
I think she
normal.
looks better in Wedding Crashers.
Well, the thing is, I like that she looks normal.
Yeah.
Like everyone looks like someone you could see walking down the street.
Yeah.
Like
you could see her and Donald Gleeson as like a couple.
Yeah, you could genuinely see them like as just a really normal, and it's not like these beautiful. Like, okay, she looked in the Notebook, and the way they did, she looks like stunning because that's what she's supposed to look like. Ryan Gosling, stunning, like.
James Marsden, even her second choice.
Stunning.
Is up there,
He's really good looking. They're all.
Jenna Rowlands.
She's an old woman in the film. I mean, if that's your type, that's your type. But I like that About Time.
No, that's not.
Everyone's just so normal looking. Like, I just like it. Yeah, but I don't know.
Apart from Meg, who was one of the most beautiful women ever put on celluloid, Billy Crystal looks like Billy Crystal.
But he looks like he's here's the thing though, everyone looks normal but not ugly enough that you think, oh come on, they never end up together. I think Donald Gleason's a really good looking guy and I could definitely see someone.
Yeah. That's second best Point Mirror?
Oh, it's my favourite, but that's
it's not my best, but it's in my top 10 for sure. It's very good.
There's only been so many. How many has there been? 6, and then they've done 2 10s. So there's 20 plus Christmas special, 27. Was it 10 or 8?
I don't know. Either way,
who cares?
I just liked that everyone looked like real people.
That's
and
true.
No one was like, like Margot Robbie, obviously, but she was supposed to be like crazy good looking. And I suppose like maybe that Jimmy guy, I suppose you could say he was like really good looking. But
Always
not my type. But not my type. But that's the whole point.
Yeah, I know.
She went for the good-looking guy, and then she actually went with Jay, who is not very good looking but was actually really nice, and you know, she ended up with him and they had a baby and they were really happy. She wasn't happy with the trope of the bad boy and the not very nice guy. She wasn't happy with him.
Well, Becky.
Well, it's my second favourite film. Still
It is.
stand by that. Could happily watch it just so many times and not get bored of it. It's that perfect combination of realism and bringing in aspects of real life that we're all like, oh, that's relatable, whilst also being just such a lovely like love story throughout. Just a really enjoyable film to watch.
Very, very lovely. Well,
Adore this film. First time I watched it was in my first year of university.
Wow, really?
Yeah, so I'm actually pretty new to this film.
Wow.
But then after I watched it for a few days non-stop.
Yeah.
And it's we'll always have a special.
I like make everyone watch it. Like I've made so
Yeah.
many people, because I watched this film when I was like 13. I was like, oh, that's it. That's what I want from life. And then
My brother
that's
watched it with his like ex-girlfriend, brought it home basically and said like, you guys need to watch this. We all watched it as a family and we were all like, I love it. Show everyone we know.
that was us as well. I just make a lot of people watch this film.
whereas I bought it on Blu-ray, should have bought the DVD, I might sell it. So to end on a downer note.
Oh wait, I have a question.
I won't sell it, because I won't sell it.
Will, you said that there was a building you didn't like, and you never
Oh,
answered what
yeah.
building that was.
Well, the tension is
send
killing
us
me.
away.
Oh, I've been wanting to ask.
You're going to be very bored. I was just going to talk about the pitch black restaurant, but I didn't say anything else about it because there's nothing to look at.
Have you not been to?
The
I
concept,
haven't been to one.
the
It's a
concept's
real
great.
restaurant.
As
Real
someone
restaurant in
who-
London.
Yeah, as someone who makes audio dramas, I never have anything to look at, so I liked that bit.
As a
I was
blind
like, I
waiter,
can hear it.
yeah, I'd prefer it though if it was pitch black. You can see little things. And
I
know that
can't
that's
work
how
out
it
what the
would
lights
be.
are.
They'll be
I
like,
can work out how they're sat. That's what annoys me.
I don't know. It'll be a
Go
glimpse.
to the
I love
restaurant. Take Becky to the restaurant, and then you'll.
I've
find
been
Oh, there
meaning to
you
go to this
go.
restaurant for years.
Take
Oh my
her.
god, it's
Take
literally
her.
been on my like starred like it's bookmarked on Google Chrome.
Take
because
her, and then
I
you
want
can
to
find
go.
out
We
in
will go.
person.
And take me, and I'll find a Rachel McAdams.
And take me as well, just because.
I'll speak louder so that it happens like it does in the movie, and I'll be like, "Oh, I really wish there was somebody here."
No,
Then-
I just
no, that won't.
yeah, I just want to go.
There we go. So next
Everyone
time we're all
can
next
come
time.
down to London
I
and
think-
we'll all go together.
I think all four of us, our booked in. I don't know what that voice was supposed to be. All four of us are booked in for an episode, but I can't remember what it is. I
Was it
believe
500 Days of Summer?
I think it is 500 Days of Summer. Let me get the double. Actually, no. The first one where all four. No, Django Unchained.
Django Unchained,
Oh,
yeah.
Oh,
With-
I love that film.
With Ava as well. The next time it's just us four is 500 Days of Summer.
Hmm.
Both
What another wonderful film.
in
Slightly more depressing.
slightly better.
Just a little.
Also,
Actually,
I think
I say slightly better, infinitely better.
her name was Autumn, not April.
That's it.
I'm pretty sure.
I thought you were saying. I thought earlier when you were saying that you were like, no, I don't know. She was called Summer.
No. The ending girl.
Ending Girl. As she's credited. Hello, I'm Ending Girl.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
thought
'cause
I
when
nearly ended
he's
it.
like, oh.
Yeah, what's your name? April. I skipped that too. It's embarrassing because that
Of
never
course you
happens.
would.
It doesn't happen. Quote unquote. My Blu-ray has the whole option of sometimes it remembers, and so it came up, and it was, "Do you want to continue from this point?" And it was the bit where he's walking away on the bench, and I was watching it with my ex. It was one of the last movies we watched, and then afterwards she said, "Why don't you watch the ending scene. I said it because things that like that don't happen, do they?
Just because they've never happened to you doesn't mean they don't happen to anyone else.
Yeah, but they're never called April.
Oh, she isn't called April in the film.
That's a good point.